arrows here? Okay. All right. So what I'll be going over here really briefly is just some of the things that we're going to tackle as we go forward. The recordings, I would like to have the recordings done on Zoom versus, let's say, Facebook or YouTube, just to keep the circle small for those that want to be a part of it.
I'm glad you said that because I was about to do a live on Facebook.
Nah, because they would need the book, and then if I'm doing placards and stuff, that costs money. The last stuff that I've already bought cost me money. It didn't cost no one else but me. So, but nonetheless, we'll go over these things. For those that want to do it, then they'll send a message at the path number 2 yahuah@gmail.com if you want to be a part of the class. All right, so I'm going to be somewhat brief, but I want you guys to see certain things here. All right, so can they all see it on Zoom as they can see this that we got posted on Zoom?
Sharing it to Zoom now, yes.
Okay.
It's on the screen.
So you guys should have the PDF already that you guys can download already in Zoom. Is that correct? Okay, awesome. Sounds good. So notice what we have here. I'm going to start from right to left. Where it starts, it says number 1, it says Aleph. Okay, and then you see in the Hebrew how you spell Aleph. Okay, and then it says Otiyot Defus, which literally just means block style letters. All right, so you see the Aleph that you're familiar with, or some familiar with, and then right after that you see Otiyot Katav, which literally means this is the written letter. This is how you're going to write it out. And then, right next to that, they give you some little dotted lines that you can trace to start trying to learn how to write script writing. Okay? Is everyone with me so far? So I won't go over a bunch of the Hebrew up top yet until later on. But this is how you spell the names out. You see in the center, Aleph, Bet, Vet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, so on. Right? Everyone good with that? So everyone has a paper that they can use to practice writing. Right? We'll go to the next part. This is all the way down to Tav. Right? All the way down. You see the Safit, everything is there for you to learn. So, how much time you guys got to learn this? About 3 weeks. I'm giving you guys 3 weeks just to learn the letters and to start tracing these things out. Now, even after 3 weeks, we're going to keep doing this over and over again, so you're still going to get it. But I want to do it in a way that we're going to do this kind of like twice a week, these studies. It's going to be the same lesson twice a week. So if you run into any questions, I don't want to jump to the next lesson the following week if you guys still haven't gotten the first one. Okay? Everyone understands. Okay? And then as we progress, as we start getting to words, my voice is going to change a little bit in that I'm going to be asking questions like ani mevin, ani mevina, mevinim. All of these words are just basically to a masculine, to a feminine, to everybody. Do you understand? Right? So I'll go over all of that, and I'll put all that stuff on the board as well. All right. Earlier, they talked about the Nakud system, or the vowel pointing system. So look at top. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'll go over just the Aleph at the top first and then at the very bottom. Right? So you see to the right, you see a square with a chametz there, or they say chametz there, right? So they let you know it looks like a little T for those that are not familiar. It looks like a little T. And then underneath it, you see a patach, and it has like a little dash.
All right. Sorry. Are we supposed to have that page? Because we don't have that page.
No.
Don't have that page.
No. You guys just got the letters. Mm-hmm. But we'll see where all this is coming from in the future. So I'm sharing with you where all this is going to come from at the end of this little really quick lesson here. All right. So anyway, you're going to see all of the Nakud on the right-hand side. Now let's look at the A, where it says, has the Aleph and it has a chametz there, right? It says right? Then you see the Ba and the Va, and so you see all of those things, right? So at the very top, you see the block style writing of it, and then right underneath it, you see the script writing, right? The way you guys are going to be writing letters one to another in the future here. Okay, so everyone's good with that. Underneath, at the very bottom, you see where it says Shalom, shekel, all this stuff, dollar, limon, all this. All right, so this is how you're going to learn syllables. Instead of saying, I don't want to talk about other groups that say different things, but this is specifically conversational Hebrew, like if you was to go to Israel now, right? So when you look at this here, you're going to notice that the majority of the emphasis is going to be on the last syllable, which we'll talk about that later, not on the first. There's only some examples where they are on the first, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about accents, but at the point of what we're doing is we're going to, at some point, get away from all vowel pointing and be able to read it without it. That's the objective, okay? So, but for right now, we'll have vowel pointings, and then as we keep going, you're going to see it's going to change. You're like, hey, where's the vowel point? Well, you're going to know it because we're going to be saying it out together. Everyone's going to be saying it together over and over again, plus it's going to be recorded. All right. We got some games. All right, so the first 2 lines I think we can do together. The remaining 6 you guys will do on your own, right? So notice up top, you got the block style, and they got little, the Hebrew letters up top, and they got certain what? Patterns that they want you to do to recognize. So the top is all block style writing. Underneath is all script. So all you're going to do is, like if you look at the top line, you got Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. You see the whole line, right? Mm-hmm. So notice that the Bet has a certain symbol. So they want you to go look underneath in the script writing. You see the Bet. That's how the Bet would look in script writing. You match the patterns. So you guys are going to be doing this. Okay? So this is going to be, I would think this is pretty easy to do for some if you just keep doing it. But by the time you do this here, and there's only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Hebrew letters here, right? So the first 8 Hebrew letters up here is going to match the 8 letters down here. It's going to keep growing as we keep going through the lessons. Everyone understands this part? All right. Did anyone want to try it? Because it ain't going to be what you pick. It's going to be what I pick. No? No one wants to try this? Okay.
You're going to pick like you did last time?
Yeah, absolutely. Because most of us learn by, when we start reading Aleph, Bet, Gimel, that's in our minds. But at some point, if you know, it doesn't matter where you pick it from. You should be able to say, it goes here, this is this one, this is that one. That's when you know something. Anything else is just, I know it's Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Okay, so that's the Hey, and I'm mixing, is this how it was, then you're still learning. All right? So we're going to get stronger in that area. This is the book we're going to be using. Okay, now, it's kind of hard to get this book because in Israel, this is their main book. But you can go on Amazon, and they have this in Kindle as well. But if you want a hard copy, I will get with Moreh Lamadyahu if he wants to take on this challenge. And basically, we can get it printed out and get you a hard copy at a cost. Okay, so it's going to cost. But remember, it's going to take him, because he will have to take it technically and scan it and then take it down, let's say, Office Depot or something like that, and put it into a binder, and then you guys have a hard copy of it. But you're going to want this book. This book is where we're going to get majority of the information going to come out this book. But I got other materials that I'm going to be using. Those materials I'll be sending to everyone by way of email. Okay, so we'll see an example of that in just a minute. All right, so we're going to be using this. Now again, conversational Hebrew. So we're not going to be arguing about biblical Hebrew, ancient. That's not what we're here to do. We're going to talk about the conversation. Now, once we master this, if you will, which probably be next year sometime for some, then we're going to start changing and start learning more about the history of letters and sounds and go from there, right? But for right now, this is the book you're going to want to get right here. So I hope everyone's tracking with me. All right. Huh?
On Amazon, it doesn't have a price on it.
Yeah, it's like 20 something bucks, is it? $22, something like that. So, all right. This is the verb tree, if you will, the patterns. Remember, they talked about the binyan or the binyamin, right? Notice at the bottom right to the right, you'll see the pa'al, the peel, the hifil, the hitpael, the hufal. We're going to go through all of these actually in the future. But we're going to walk this out like, what does this mean, right? So since we did the hitpael, or since Moreh did the hitpael, up top it says reflective, right? He prayed. It's a reflective thing. We're going to see how all of this works in the future. But all of this is going to help you learn the language. It's going to help you understand the tense and the grammar and the syntax, and all these things are going to be as we progress in the language. Is everyone with me so far? Okay. We're going to do simple pronouns. Okay, so I only put these two up here for now. But what it says here says, note in Hebrew we don't have equivalent connection words such as am, are, is, etc. in conversational Hebrew. We'll learn how that works when we finally get into it. But here's an example they got, or how you say example in Hebrew is dugma. Dugma. So an example, it says, I am David. Literally, it's ani David. Right? So it's the ani is I or I am. Okay, David. Okay. So ani, and then you see where it says you am, which means what? Masculine, right? So it's ata, and then feminine, it's at. Okay? So we're going to go over how we're going to have this little dialogue. So everyone, ani is for masculine and feminine. It's for both, because it's why. It's talking about you, first person. Ata, we're going to learn, since ata is not first person, right? We're going to go to second person. We're going to see how that works. If I'm talking to a man, if I'm talking to a woman, we're going to see how that changes. Okay? We're going to be doing greetings every week until you master these greetings. Everyone sees, notice on the right-hand side, there's no nakud or vowel pointing, right? So we're going to go over examples of how you're going to be able to read this without the nakud system. So obviously at the top one, everyone knows. Shalom, right? Means hello. Then ma means what is. What or what is. We'll add something like ze, like ma ze, what's this? You're going to see ma means what. What's the next word you read is what? Now mind you, this is transliteration to the far left. So if it says your name is, how do you say your name for if you're addressing a woman? Shemech. Shemech. Right? Everyone sees that, right? All right. How about you're a man? Shimcha. Okay. So if I say, what is your name to a man, you say, Ma shimcha. If I ask for a woman, Ma shmech. Right? So we're going to practice that in just a minute, so don't go nowhere. Don't go no bathroom breaks. All right. Next we know is Todah. We got Lehitraot, see you later or see you. Yom is day or a day. And word Nifla, which means wonderful. All right. So I'm going to have, I have Sharat Will, his Isha. How would you ask her name? Vice versa, you're going to ask how you do his name. You can look at her. You can look at her. Because that's how you're going to talk to her, right? I think. Unless you look at the board. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Well, make sure I got it right.
Okay. Ma shemech.
Ma shemech.
Ma shemech.
Ma shemech.
And you're going to respond. Listen, it's not up there yet.
Okay.
Ani, because we read that before. I. And then your name. Ani.
Anamiya.
So, Ani.
Ani Amaniya.
Okay. You ask him his name. Ma Shimcha. Ma Shimcha.
Mashika.
Okay, so everyone see how this works, right? All right. We're going to ask Naamaya to ask Abia her name. We're going to do vice versa. So we saw male to female, female to male. Now we're doing female to female. What would you say to her? Ma shmech. Mhm. Ani Abia. Okay, now you ask her. Ma shmech. Ani Naamaya. Okay. We're going to do, and you'll say, Nifla, wonderful, if you wanted to do that. All right. We're going to go from Gadar to Kanat, male to male. So either one you want to start.
Go ahead. What's up? What's your name?
Go ahead. Mashimcha. Ani Gadar. Okay. Mashimcha. Naim Yod. Okay, anyway, we'll do that later on. Okay, so now I'm going to ask questions. Mashimcha. Shemaya, okay. Ask Gadar his name. Okay. Then we'll talk about any like Naim Yod. We'll talk about that later on. Everyone see how this is going to work, right? We're going to be asking, you're going to have to get comfortable with it, right? Mashimcha, mashmech, right? So we're going to talk about these things, all right? So those are on Zoom. You know, I know Yahuah, if he wants to head up a little bit of it, if he wants to. But you guys on the Zoom, start asking each other these questions. You know, back and forth. Everybody should be involved. Not one, oh, I'm just listening right now. You know, or not right now. No, if you make a mistake, that's the whole point of being corrected. Because you're going to grow, you're going to learn more and more. Is everyone with me so far?
Yes, Moreh, can you even ask us questions on Zoom? Like, can you ask us, like, can you pick, us out and say, I would like to ask so a question,
Oh, yeah.
or
Sure, I can.
Mashmech.
Miss- oh, Nihumana.
Huh?
Nihumana.
Okay. So if I say, who's willing to answer a question?
Well, I am, as
You
long
already
as
got
it's
yours.
pertaining to a greeting. What we got up here, I am.
Okay. All right. So you see what I mean? So what I'm saying is not too many people are comfortable right now. That's why this is just an intro, is to say that until someone gets comfortable with it, not too many volunteers is going to happen. You're just going to have to get them out there and do it. So I'm saying online, you guys will be able to, hey, let's just do this. You know, and we'll go over and over. Next week, we're going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to do this for 3 weeks. So we're not going to change nothing for 3 weeks for the point of, 1, memorization, number 2, to hear it. You're going to hear it every week. So that way you won't lose it. And also gives you the opportunity to get the books and things like that if you want to get those things, and go from there.
Toda nifla.
Toda nifla. Okay. In the future, we're going to learn how to make plans. Okay? You see, first day, Yom Rishon or Sunday. You're going to see Monday, Yom Shani, Tuesday, Yom Shalishi, Wednesday, Yom Revi, Thursday, Yom Kamishi, Friday, Yom Shishi, and Shabbat, right? So you're going to have all of this information. You're going to see the winter, the fall, the summer. We're just going to see how we can make plans. But again, this is not up front as we begin to get comfortable. Okay? We're going to be doing time. Okay? We're going to be learning AM, PM, seconds, minute, hours, midnight, noon, night, afternoon, morning.
Slika. Questions on the floor. Do I have to email the path to get into class?
I need to know how. I would need to know who wants to be a part of it. So that's why they're emailing, just so that I know who, because I need a number.
Okay.
Okay. So if I don't know how many is going to be in it, it's not going to, help. Now the things that in the book. So the other part, which I'll talk about at the end, which is if you guys want to be a part of getting the placards and stuff like that for your home and some other stuff, that will cost me a lot of money to do. So I would need you guys' support as to me getting these things, because if I put something like the word for refrigerator or microwave or door or sofa or couch or table, you're going to be putting these things on there so that you guys can either do it by yourself if you're single, or if you're married or you have somebody in the home that you can dialogue with. This is going to help. If not, no worries. Twice a week, we're still going to be doing it. Okay, but it's very easy. It's easier to have it in front of you all the time. Okay, so we'll be doing that, but I'll talk about that when that time comes. Ken?
You said twice a week?
Yeah. So like we're doing it now, and then I might do it midweek, just to see where everybody's at. That gives them time to read it. That's what to hear, read it, write it, speak it, study it, and have dialogues. So when I say have dialogues, that means we should be talking. If no one has no one to talk to, I'm sure we can get that going, right? We can get that started and have that going. I'm going to have videos, recordings of it, of the words, the sounds. I'll do that myself, or I may do it with something that's already set up, and that way you guys can hear the recording over and over and over again. Okay. Any
Another question.
questions?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Will the placards be transliterated?
Yeah, I'll have the plaques to be transliterated, be translated and transliterated. Now understand, transliteration is only for sound purposes. It's not how you would write it in English, for an example. So it's strictly for just trying to pronounce the Hebrew correctly. So I know we like let me go back. I'll show you. I'll give you an example here. Here, right? So we see. For your name for a female, Shemech, right? So the SHMECH is only to share with you how the three Hebrew letters sound. It's not to say that you should be writing the transliteration when you're talking to people. It's strictly for sound purposes only, okay? So the Latin letters is only there just for your convenience of knowing how to sound something out. That's when I say transliteration. Okay.
Moreh,
I'm here, Aki.
yes, Moreh. Can you post the link for the book? How
Okay.
do you prefer to do it? Do you want us to purchase it through a particular organization, or if you got a code?
Okay, so if you can get it, I don't know if Amazon still has any left, but if they do, Amazon will be a place to go. I know they do have it on Kindle, but what we would have to do is find other resources that actually has it, and then we can share that as well so that people can order it. Or we can try to make the book ourselves, meaning we can actually scan a book and then get it printed and then get it out that way. But I would need to also know how many people are going to be a part of it. And then next week I'm going to be asking the question, how many people will order the book? How many people still need to order the book? How many people cannot get the book? I'll be asking all of those questions every week until we get started.
Thank you.
Hello, Devar. Okay. That's everyone?
Kindle when they got an audio book.
Yeah, Kindle is going to be on Kindle for sure. All right, so online, I guess I'm asking,
Only on Kindle and audiobook.
Yeah, so we have to see how we do that. So Yahuah, I guess I think you're going to be able to handle that task on Zoom?
Ken Moreh.
Okay. So that way we're constantly doing this twice a week. And when I say twice a week, I give the time and everything is going to be on Zoom. So you're going to hear it all the time. Let the repetition, it's going to be repetitious over and over again. But I'm telling you, that is the best way to learn. All right? So with that, with dupims, which is meaning with papers that I'll be giving out, we're going to be really doing a lot of this. It's going to be reading, writing, games, songs. We're going to do everything we can to try to keep this going. But if you don't take the time to study, you're not going to get it. If you think once or twice the time that we do it is when you're only going to do it, it's not going to work. There has to be a part where you have to study this out. And if you do it that way, you'll be a lot ahead. And as we keep going, you're going to see things. I can't wait till we get into infinitives. When you get into infinitives, don't let that word scare you. It just literally means that you're going to learn how to say stuff like, I want to drink water, right? So if I say, does anyone know how to say I want to drink water in Hebrew? So but remember, there's an infinitive. There's an infinitive in there.
I need low. Not.
So ani, listen, I want. So ani rotse lishtot mayim. Ani rotse lishtot mayim, right? So lishtot is to drink. Rotse means rotse means want. So ani rotse lishtot mayim. So
Compound.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. When we start getting into these things, you're going to start to see it more and more. And the more we say it, the more it's going to make sense.
Come second nature to you.
Uh-huh. All right. Shailot, questions?
Moreh, you put up a PDF file for the printout.
Which one?
For the intro to Hebrew class.
I just put that together, but I guess I could.
Because I wanted, I thank so much for Akuti. She sent it to my Gmail, so I can just like print it out, like the letters and everything.
Okay, so the PowerPoint that's here, you want that in a PDF? Okay.
Yeah, in a PDF file, so that way we can have it. I can just send it to my printer and I can just like print out these things.
Okay, well, how about I just send you the PowerPoint?
Whatever is convenient, I mean.
Yeah.
I think.
They're gonna be because but yeah. But this is just something I put together as an example. So there's gonna be a lot more that I'll be putting together here. But I'll be putting them together more or less in a PowerPoint way, not so much in the PDF format. But I can do that. Don't get me wrong. I can do that, and thereby giving it out as a PDF so that you can put it on their phones, whatever. But if you have PowerPoint on your phone, be it Windows or Android, you have Microsoft on there, you can actually do it right there on your phone as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So that way I can just open it and just like, read and study it.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's a link or like a link that you could send us, and that way we can just open the link and we can just read and study.
Okay, no problem. All right, so that definitely worked, and I'm hoping that I do entertain a little bit of questioning, but here's the deal when it comes to learning a language. A lot of people want to know, how do you say this? How do you say that? How do you say? And it kind of confuses people that are just trying to learn where they are. Just understand, as we keep going, we're going to hit it. I guarantee you, because your vocabulary is going to grow. And as it grows, we're going to hit those words. So don't worry about, I don't know how to do this. We're going to talk about call and response. If there's a question, the response is, if I say mashim ka to a male and he says, I need Lamadyahu, that's his answer. But then there's another way of doing that. There's another, if I say,
They probably look it on there.
hold on, we're still doing the thing. If I say, Korim lecha. Does anyone know what I mean? Korim lo? All right, so that's what I'm saying. We're going to be going over other ways of saying, like, how are you called? We're going to go over, or your answer is Shmi. Shmi means my name. Shmi Lamadyahu versus Ani Lamadyahu. You say Shmi Lamadyahu. So we're going to go over different ways of answering, and so it's going to be a lot fuller. So I don't want to people to ask so many questions that may get out of the scope of the actual lesson itself.
Okay.
And then when we do the lessons, when we start next week, I guess I'll be teaching next week. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to limit everybody to 60 seconds. If they got a question, they got 60 seconds to get that question or statement out. If not, they're gonna get this mute thing going, right? And they might have to wait until the end to do that. Right, because we'll be on a timeline. I don't want to mess up the timeline between the actual service and the actual Hebrew class. We got to stay on a certain time so that everybody can be, on court here.
Okay, so you'll let us know when the book is available through Amazon, or is it available now? Can we just order it now?
Well, I know Kindle is definitely on Kindle. As far as printed versions, this book has been bought out by Israel for years.
Okay.
So you might have to find other resources that may have it, or I can I can get a hard copy. Then we would have to actually make that hard copy ourselves, and then be able to do it out. So I don't know if anyone's ever looked it up yet to see if they found it outside of, let's say, Amazon. I don't know.
Okay. Well, this is the first we've heard of it, but I would definitely love to have the book. I'm sure a lot of us would love to have the book.
Well, absolutely, because everything's going to come out of that book.
Yeah. Let us know. I'm sure if you need funds or whatever, let us know. We want to do it, definitely. We need the book. We can send you money or whatever's clever, whatever you need.
Okay, hallelujah. And so in the future, as we, Okay, so outside of that, now mind you, this is different from, when I say different from biblical Hebrew, we're going to do that. I know you guys, the reason why I'm not doing both at the same time, because it'd be very confusing for someone. If I'm already reading, let's say the Hebrew in the service, I'm doing a bunch of Hebrew, that Hebrew there is not conversational Hebrew. So people might mistake words, and I don't want to confuse people in doing that. You know what I mean? Like if I really want to break down, let's just look at, if we're on the board here, let's go to this here, right here. Okay, so you remember up top, you see where it says, look at above the aleph for an example. You see otiyot dafus, right? Everyone sees that, otiyot dafus, or otiyot katev. Everyone sees that? Above it is like Hebrew writings, if you don't know. Just above the blue arrow, there's some Hebrew writing. So if I say otiyot, question is, what does that mean to anybody? What does otiyot mean? You see what I mean? So otiyot, the root of that word is ot. The ot means sign. Right? So this is saying otiyot, signs. But it's being translated in modern Hebrew as letters. You see? So I don't want to do the back and forth to try to help. I would love to help, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to confuse people is the objective here. I want us to be able to stick with something as we grow. Then you're going to see me maybe add a little something here or there as we begin to grow. That'll be my objective. Okay? Mevinim, everyone's fine? Mevinim just means understand to everybody. Mevin means understand to masculine, and mevina is to female. Do you understand? But anyway, my point is we'll be doing all this over and over. You're going to hear me say it over and over and over. And you're going to be like, I got it. It's like shalom. You all remember the first day you all said shalom? Oh, yeah, hello. You didn't even want to say shalom back. So, but at some point, you started saying, okay, shalom, okay, shalom, okay, shalom. And then it became normal to you. So I want to say the same uncomfortable feeling you had when you first heard that is going to be the same thing as you go through this class. So don't be scared, don't be nervous. If it's just wrong, no problem. We'll correct it. That's the objective, is how we're going to grow. Okay? All right. Well, Lihirot, which means see you later, and I'll let you guys on the Zoom